A little while ago, I discovered that my peer now has access to everything my maxed account has. There are no restrictions anymore. Ever since that moment, I've been secretly working towards this goal. During our Levi grind, we were training our stats up to prepare for this moment. I said things could get wacky, and here we are. Today, we take on the Colosseum. We're just outside the Fortis Colosseum now, and we are looking different on 416 Hero. Let's break down the gear setup real quick. Obviously, we traded over a ton of items from Wait For It. So for some context here, I kind of mirrored the setup that I used to use on Wait For It for my Colosseum runs, except for those runs, I used to use a combination of Scythe and Shadow. On this account, I'm not going to be using the Shadow. I figured, we're not going to have access to Ancestral. In my mind, I'm thinking my range setup will be better than the mage setup. So with that being said, we're rocking the Twisted Bow with the Eclipse top and bottom, with the Necklace of Anguish and the Zerite Vambraces, wearing the Arania boots, which will be beneficial for both melee and range. For our melee gear, we have the Scythe, rocking full Blood Moon with an Amulet of Rancor, our Fire Cape, and Barrow's Gloves. The other items we have in our inventory is the Sanguinesti Staff, just a one-way mage switch to two-shot the melee Fremi. We don't have the gear set up to one-shot the Fremis anyways, so just a one-way switch to two-shot them will be more than enough. We have the Saradomin Godsword to deal with the mage Fremi as well as just general healing and spec regen, and we have the Venator Bow to deal with the mage Fremi. For our spellbook, we are on the Arceus spellbook running Thralls and Death Charge. Unfortunately, we haven't even touched TOA yet, so our rune pouch is only the default 3-slot one, and as such, we have Death Runes and Soul Runes outside of the rune pouch. And of course, we need the Book of the Dead for Thralls. To be honest, I'm not sure if this setup is going to work well for us, because like I said, this is just a mirrored match with the setup I had on Wait For It, which, as you know, is drastically different. One account is max combat stat, and the other is a 50 defense account. There are two potential problems I see right now with this inventory for this account. For one thing, we only have 4 brews, so the margin for error is very slim. And we do have 8 restores, however, this is a 63 prayer account. I guess without thinking too hard about it and just yapping standing outside of the Colosseum, let's just go ahead and do a test run. Here we go, entering the Fortis Colosseum for the very first time. Now, it's been quite some time since I last did the Colosseum. I more recently did the Inferno again. So we're just going to have to see how this goes. Alright, mistakes were made already. We forgot to charge the Sanguinesti Staff. So let's just do wave 1 and get out of here. Well, it looks like we're going to be getting a collection log after wave 1 because there it is, Sunfire Splinters. The painful thing about first starting to do the Colosseum is that you don't get access to the bank chest that's inside. So you have to go outside then back in. But anyways, our Sang Staff is now charged. I want to say we have everything we need to send these attempts. So now let's get to it. Oops. So to be honest, that was a pretty silly first death. I just forgot which way you were supposed to run out of the pillar to off-tick them, and to be honest, if I was more careful, I should have took the time to figure that out before I just ran out. Good thing we're not a hardcore. Here we go, attempt number 2, I guess. Honestly, very unfortunate that I wasn't able to clip this in time, but attempt number 2 is over and done with already. I was very casually melee flicking the melee backup, the reinforcement, and I misflicked one time and it just specced me out from full HP to 0. That is the 50 defense for you. Despite how these first 2 quote-unquote attempts have played out, I actually feel pretty confident in this, so we'll see how this plays out. I just have to lock in, really. Okay, so that was a very arrogant wave 6. If you've done Colosseum before, or even watched enough of it, you'll know that wave 6 is actually pretty difficult. Or rather, it can be. Sometimes it just comes down to RNG on where the spawns are. We're going to make a slight adjustment to our setup. We're swapping out the light bear in favor of the berserker ring. Terrible modifiers on wave 2. Well, at least we get some loot out of it. And we're dead. What are these invocations, man? Oh, this is the annoying part. It takes me like 10 to 15 minutes just to get to wave 6 because I do know DPS. And in wave 6, not gonna lie, at least for me, it comes down to a little bit of RNG on whether we get the double south spawn or not. Makes a huge difference. I guess we gotta be disciplined here and just claim our loot because frailty, re-entry, and doom are modifiers that I do not want. So we're a few attempts in now, and I've noticed that in certain situations I prefer using the twisted bow over the scythe. I think I'm being influenced by that one situation earlier where I misflicked once and got absolutely destroyed by the Jaguar Warrior. Once again, we've made it to wave 6. And the modifiers are terrible. What are these modifiers, bro? It just gets worse. We're on wave 5. We didn't even make it to 6. Okay, I said this last time. I saw it on next wave loot, and I wanted it. But then I died. But this time, it's going to be different. Okay, we did the extra wave without dying. We claim our loot, and we reset. I've been messing around with the DPS calculations just to see if I can optimize my inventory a bit more. And I've learned that I can drop the Blood Moon top and legs. Wearing the Eclipse top and legs will give me the same melee DPS. This will also make the switching for the Fremnik warbands much easier. Just gonna claim. I kind of messed up by eating the Jaguar Warrior spec again, so... Also, I just realized I unlocked the bank chest finally. Man, I choked. I had that solved, but I choked. So that run, I just came back from dinner and I sent one and we made it all the way to wave 10. It was a bit of a dicey situation, but I actually had the major reinforcement and the ranger off tick. And the Minotaur was safe spotted behind the Ranger. Unfortunately, though, I was under a lot of pressure there, and I just kind of choked, and I couldn't flick. But that was by far our best run yet, so that's good news, I guess. That was very dumb. I don't know what I was thinking. No, what? Oh my, that was it, man. Man, that was so tragic. I had a good wave 11 spawn there, and all I had to do was get rid of the Fremnix while I flicked that one Manticore. I was so focused on the Manticore that I ate a 20 from one of the Fremnix. I think it was the Ranger. So looking at my supplies, I can 100% burn more of my restores. I guess I'll try to use my offensive prayers a bit more so that we can get back to wave 11 quicker. That last run getting to wave 11, I think that took us about 34 minutes maybe. So pretty lengthy process. Obviously, it really hurts to throw a wave 11 like that, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a confidence booster. When I first decided to take on the Colosseum, I honestly wasn't sure that I was going to be able to do this. But seeing how we got to wave 11 with all the supplies we had, I'm pretty sure I can do it now. No way. Wait, did I just misflick the Manticore? What happened there? So I did press Pray Melee for the last Manticore orb. I pressed Pray Mage again too quickly. That is unfortunate. What are these clicks, bro? Ooh. Oh man, I held my breath for like half that fight, I swear. We did it. I need to take a second here. I'm like, I can't even talk. It's so crazy. Like, I've done this, I don't know, 14, 15 times, but on a new account, first KC on a new account, 50 defense, 63 prayer. Oh man, look at that quiver. Let's take a look at the stats here. So 108 waves completed, but the first time we made to soul, we made it count. 1 for 1. 13 deaths, and honestly, a lot of them were silly. Even some like pretty early ones. I think I had like a couple of pre-wave 6 deaths. Honestly, on the very first day I was sending these attempts, I was pretty tired, and I probably should have just went to bed and started the next day. But here we are on day 2, bright and early, and we got it done. Let's take a look at the glory here, which is essentially a points-based system in the Forest Colosseum. After the completion of Soul Heritage there, we got a personal glory PB of 3,618. At the bottom here, we can see some of the things that we have unlocked. We have access to the bank right here at the Colosseum. We can now choose the Fortis respawn point. We have improved price for stolen goods. That's for thieving, I believe. We can now use the Colosseum Ring of Dueling teleport. We have the herb patch protection. And honestly, the best thing, we have the emote. Where is it? Near the bottom.